Hello, my friends. Today I'll speak about English, about my experience of English because it's so fun. What I've realized, and it is that to learn English is hard only in start, like in first 1 year, because in this moment when you try to learn English, you must to make a new habits and you must to do them continuously, and therefore in first time it's so hard because you can't understand nothing. It seems that it don't work for you, and you have these doubts always, fears that you learn English too long, that everyone know better than you. You always makes mistakes. You looks like a fool man. So you can just make this. You can just have this force when you learn English, but everything is illusion. It's true because when you try to learn English, you as a rule in first time you start to listen everything in English, music, podcasts, videos, cartoons, movies, and you can't understand nothing. You just must to put attention to these actions. And what I understood that mm, when you do these actions in your brain builds new neurons, new neural path in English with English words, and then more you hear these words, new words, when you see these new words in books, in exercises, in everything what you see, and then your brain started to make like new brain in English, and then more you use more and more in your life English, then it faster and faster uh, becoming obviously for you how it works. You just understand it in automatically how it works, how works learning English, and through year you can understand it easy that to learn English you just must to do your habits every day continuously, and in automatically your brain will build these neurons, and in automatically you will able to use this language easy. And to be honest, I don't know also how it works that I have this ability to use to say these words in English. It's for me like naturally, like in my native language became now. And to be honest, I really don't know how it works. I just use these words with my feels of my body, and it really works funny. It really about changing your life, because when you know English language, for you open all internet with these funny videos, with these useful videos, with these useful podcasts in English, and with these useful interesting persons also in who use this language, and for you open so many doors for growing, for become this person which you want, because um, when you use this little language and doing everything in English, it's interesting for your brain, and therefore your brain gives to you dopamine, and therefore everything seems um, like feel great, interesting. And it's so important in our life, and it's also one way to live off your depression, because in English everything fun, more funnier, uh, you can find new friends, you can speak with someone, you can have conversation with interesting people from another countries, you can understand about other countries, and for you open this information in internet, you can understand how it's important in our life also. With this, you can use this information and become productive person, and when you're productive you can learn everything and grow faster. And I'm sure that so you can become this person which you want to be, because it's just easier and funnier in English. Everything in English seems funnier and more interesting. I'm sure about this, and I see it in my way. I'm also learning English every day. I'm also doing these habits because if I won't do these actions, I also will behind, because it's so easy, because our brain always grow, and it's like changing a wizard. If you will go to your native language and you will start will watch movies and and videos in your native language, then your brain will go back so fast. And also if you will read everything in your native language, then everything will go back, and therefore you can get this trap sometimes. But if you really motivated to learn English, then it will not so hard, just continuously do these things. And it's also so important ability to speak in English and to understand, to just knowledge of English, that you will get like a skill, and this skill will give you understand how works another skills, that you must just learn this continuously and to do these actions continuously every day in your life. And it's so funny, because you really becoming more smart, more smarter, more smart, and you just becoming smarter, and with this new brain you can understand more things in our life, how works our brain, how works our body, how works our spine, how works everything in our life. And it's so important, because we have so short time to live our lives, and you can see that in our time to live our life can seems like hard. But if you can just learn everything about how everything works in your body, in your mind, and in your psychology, then you just will reach person with experience. And this experience, I'm sure that you will able use it everywhere, and even for make money, for earn money, and etc. Because it's so long line which I can say about English. Today I watched interview with Khalifa. It also was so useful for me. It was like a kumir, and mm, it just made me happy. And in original version, it's also always better, because you can see this person uh, who he is, and therefore you just can understand everything about for example rock stars, how they live, who they are. And then you can understand about yourself more, that you also this person like them, but just they have skills, uh, experience, and they just also healthy, and they always do something to get better, always. And it's so important, I said, and it's so funny. You can see that I have done already this 10 minutes video in English, and it's also so useful for me. And the more you do these actions, your habits, then in one time it will in automatic. You will able to do it in automatically. It will not like habit for you. It will like your lifestyle that you in automatical without efforts will do these actions like writing, speaking, watching something in English, and also reading. It will like just in automatically, and then more you just see these words, and more in automatically you will understand this and um, use this information. And it's so life-changing thing like learn new language. Also, for me, it's fun just to live in this place. When I live here, that I'm able to speak in English, and almost no one can understand me because they just their ears can't understand this, because it's also a skill for your ears just to hear it and it's also so fun. And therefore to learn English is the most important skill for them who not native speaker in English. And that's all what I wanted to do in the evening, and I'm so happy. I'm really happy to know English in my life, because a year ago I was so struggling with everything in my life, but to learn English was my dream. And but in English you always growing. I'm sure about this. But if you can grow in English even without grammatic rules, it's not so important. Yeah, important. It's so in first time to understand these basic rules, and after this you will able to understand it automatically, because you will always hear this, you always will see it when you read something. And when you will use these words in speaking and writing, it will soon be like your life, like your native language. It's true. And therefore I wish to you to get better, to learn English. That's all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.